Hello, hello. So, happy Labor Day. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. This is Dr. Heather from Holist. We just had a group coaching call for Holist, and we were talking a lot about urges and talking a lot about cravings. So I thought I'd come on and share some of that with you guys. Little bit about me while we're waiting for a couple people to join. So I work nights in emergency medicine. I just finished 6 nights on, and my evening so far has been oversleeping a meeting, finishing the meeting, having a group coaching call. And so this is real life. This is me just waking up and being here for you guys. So, okay, so a little bit about me again. I'm Heather Hammerstead, emergency medicine, lifestyle medicine, integrative nutrition coach, CEO and owner of Holist. We're a lifestyle medicine coaching and consulting company, really helping people figure out how their brains and bodies work around food for sustainable long-term health with an unprocessed lifestyle, and you lose weight on a side effect. So we're popping on a video today to continue our month of September talking about cravings. Today, we're going to talk about something that really hits home with a lot of people, especially those of us who strive to live healthy and fit lifestyles. It's cravings. And if you get them from time to time, I want you to know that you're not alone. Like I said, we just got off of a group coaching call. This is a huge topic today. I think we're switching kind of into the fall. Everyone is kind of on track in the last few weeks of winter, and we've got school and all sorts of things happening. And so adjusting to a new lifestyle here in our lives and figuring out what do we do with cravings. So I thought it would be helpful for you if I told you my own personal story with cravings, so that you know that they're absolutely normal and that you can have power over them. And before I get into it, just wanted to have you guys drop me a live if you're watching live, drop a replay if you're watching on replay, so that I can know that you're here and that this topic is interesting to you and I can do more of them. Also helps bump it up in the algorithm so that our friends and colleagues can see this. And give me a couple likes, will you? Am I here all by myself? So if you're, almost all of us have food cravings from time to time. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Appetite, yes, there is a magazine or a journal called Appetite, found that 97% of women and 68% of men reported to at least occasionally have cravings. That's a lot of people. When is the last time you had a craving for something? I want to know in the comments. I want the truth. We're keeping it real here, people. When was your last craving and what was it? So I know from talking to our Holist clients that a lot of them feel like simply having a craving or a desire to have certain foods like pizza or snack foods make them feel like they're somehow failing. It's time to switch up that mindset, because cravings can be caused by so many different things, from your hormones to being sleep deprived. I had a post about being sleep deprived and how that just changes your leptin, your ghrelin, your cortisol, your growth hormone, so many different things, to feeling stressed, or even because some foods are specifically designed in a lab to make you want to crave them. So as I always say, this is not willpower. This is a skill power. So some skills today we're going to talk about on how to deal with this. So a few years ago, I noticed every night I couldn't stop thinking about French fries. I hear you, Marie. I couldn't stop thinking about crispy, crunchy potato chips, right? So every time I sat down to relax at night when the kids were in bed, I'd find myself with the hand in the bag. Then it would start with that blame, shame cycle, right? Does that sound familiar? But when I finally got my head around the weight science and the neuroplasticity around how I was thinking about food, neuroplasticity means, how your brain is a fluid ability to be rewired. So how my mindset was around food, I was able to really recognize those cravings for what they were. Simply a sensation that I was feeling, that I was able to think anything I wanted to about it. The thought is what holds the power. I was also able to do the work around understanding how what and when I was eating earlier in the day was affecting this. So understanding how my body and my brain were working with food, really internalizing that, gave me the freedom to see food for really what it is, a tool for health and not a buffer for discomfort. So an example from today on our coaching call is that one of the podcasts that I think maybe week 4 or 5 in the course, talks about the cephalic reflex. And the cephalic reflex is basically that when you think about food or you're exposed to something that makes you think about food, your body actually releases insulin to help you store whatever food it is that you're going to be eating into fat and liver. So she said, I'm really disappointed by that. I'm doing such a good job. I'm eating all the right foods. I'm analyzing when and why I'm eating. I'm doing all the work, but realizing that I don't have any control over what my cephalic reflex is going to do. And I said, that's totally not how I think about it. I think about it as the fact of like, wow, isn't that amazing that my body and my brain are so in tune that when some commercial is forcing French fries at me, Marie, that it knows it needs to already start working to figure out what to do with it. So that's one way to think about it. It's also a way to think about the control that you may have over your experiences that are being put on you. So say you're in a social situation where there's lots of food that you're going to otherwise want to eat. You can recognize that the feeling, the sensation that you have, not the feelings are emotional, the physical sensation that you have coming up that is making you crave that food is your body doing and your brain doing that to you. Does not necessarily mean hunger. Does that make sense? Somebody give me a... Another skill is really learning, again, how to analyze that hunger in a different way. So less academic than the cephalic reflex that I just gave you as an example. There's all sorts of hunger. There's body hunger. There's social hunger. There's emotional hunger. There's some physical hunger. There's that discomfort feeling that we're having that we're wanting to buffer, right? There's all these things that is hunger. It's huge to understanding that there are all these different things that don't necessarily mean you need to feed that with food. Another thing to understand is kind of what an urge is. An urge is different than cravings. And I should get Dr. Anna Blake on here, one of our Holist coaches and the Anti-Fragile Female MD coach, to talk about urges because she's really great at this. But basically, psychologically and physiologically, an urge that you're feeling isn't something that means you need to act on it. It's just something you're feeling, pushing you to do something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm hungry. It's just that I'm wanting to do something based on an experience I had before or just for no damn reason. This can be really intense work. It can be really introspective work, emotional work, and at some point it can be academic work. But it's really essential not just to understand why food cravings happen, but why urges and cravings happen in all the rest of our lives and how we don't always have to act on them. It's something to be able to understand that urge and that feeling and to be able to stop and delay an action and to think about it. Because what can you do in the space between the sensation, the circumstance and the sensation and the action? You can drink water. You can move your body. You can choose to play with your kids. There's so many things you can do besides picking up that glass of wine or picking up that bag of chips. So here I am. That's my story, somewhat academic, but somewhat personal. I feel better. I exercise better. I control my life better. I have more confidence. I sleep better. My hand's not in the chip bag. I'm not in that blame and shame cycle because I understand that when I have that feeling, I'm not doing anything wrong. This is not a willpower. It's a skill power problem, right? So when I get a craving, which doesn't happen much anymore, I drink water, I move my body, I breathe, I imagine I will physically and emotionally feel how I will feel after I eat that food that I know is not going to get me to my goals. I delay my action and then I decide. If my goals will be served by that food, I decide to eat it. If my goals are not going to be served by that food, or if I know I'm not going to feel the way that I want to feel after that, because at this point, if I eat something that's off what I usually do, I feel terrible. Then I choose to either not eat it, or I choose another time in the future, maybe that's tomorrow at 3, or maybe it's Friday, or maybe it's in 2 hours, that I'm allowed to have that food. And then I don't feel restricted, right? I've made the choice that I'm not going to have it now. I'm going to have it later. And by the time I get there, I usually don't want it anymore. So Shara says thought downloads really help me separate feelings and urges from real hunger. Yeah, so Shara is a long time Holist family member. Thought downloads are really a terrific way to kind of just go through all the things that you're thinking about a certain point that you're contemplating, and going back and really analyzing all of the sentences and words about, you know, is this a thought? Is it a feeling? Is this just a circumstance? And so I talk about a little bit about how to get to that, get down to the bottom of a thought download in the Curate Your Health group. If you search hashtag why, there's a video of me sitting in my car hiding from my children. It's real quick. It's 3 minutes, and it talks about really how to kind of ask yourself like a 3-year-old lots of questions until you get to the bottom of when you don't have any more questions or answers. But a thought download is more complex than that. But thank you, Shara. One of the things that we help our clients with is identifying triggers and building healthy, balanced diets that really help prevent cravings, and figuring out for you what and when you should be eating and why you're eating. And so that's my story. That's how I work with my cravings. It's all about moderation. If you would like some help with your fitness and wellness plans, we'd love to help. Because this is Cravings Month, I did write a ebook on cravings. It's really long, longer than I was expecting. It was really fun to do. I think you guys will really enjoy that. I had mentioned it last week that it was coming. It is live and ready to be handed out. And so if this was something that you enjoyed today and you want to read a little bit more and have it in your pocket for when you want to dig in or have a chance to dig in, drop the word cravings into the comments, and Casey and Tamper will reach out to you and make sure that we get that to you. So thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.